Hey guys, what's up? It's Jaime here. Okay, so for today's video is going to be the first, I guess, like little episode in this little mini series that I'm going to be doing, which is going to be me reading writing advice from Tumblr and giving a little bit of my own like 2 cents about it. Well, technically, if we want to be technical, I don't actually use Tumblr. I have a Tumblr, but I have not touched that thing in like God knows how many years. Um, so I'm not an avid Tumblr user or a Tumblr user really at all. But these are all that I'm gonna be showing you in these videos that I'm gonna be posting within like the next couple of weeks. Are all going to be like writing advice from Tumblr posts, which were then reposted on to like Instagram like writing accounts. So yeah, so I'll put like on the screen somewhere the original post, and then also the Instagram account where I saw the post, just so that you know like where it came from. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so the Tumblr post that's going to be featured for this video is right here. It's 10 pieces of writing advice that have stayed with me throughout the years or something like that. I didn't actually double check the post heading before I started recording, but it'll be on the screen so you'll see it. And for the sake of, time, because you guys already know that I can ramble for eons, I'm only going to be highlighting a few of like the tips from this post that I just really liked and really resonated with. So yeah, so let's get started. I should probably also preface this by saying that this isn't like any like specific, this isn't writing advice that's tailored to any specific kind of writing. Like as you guys know, I do screenwriting. This isn't like whatchamacallit, like screenwriting specific writing advice. This is just like general writing advice. So with that said, this first, I have it also here on my laptop so I don't butcher them. This first tip that I really love is every character's first line should be an introduction to who they are as a person. And so like this is something that like I never really like thought like about like consciously, but like once I read it, I was like, that makes so much sense, because like even if you don't have a like a big spectacular grand like intro kind of like planned for introducing a character, like you still want to be like considerate of like the kind of like impact like the introduction of a new character will have, whether it's like an emotional impact or like a story impact or just like things like that. So I think my only thing that I would add to this like specific piece of like writing advice is, I feel like, because like obviously, so my brain will always kind of like, when it comes to like writing advice specifically, will generally be like, oh, but like what about this? Because I like to think of like writing advice like these are not like hard like solid rules that you absolutely must follow, and if you don't follow them you're a bad writer. I like to think of them as guidelines. So what I was kind of thinking about was like, well, if your character like if you're meeting a character for the first time and they have like a really simple line that's just like a one word line, like no, that's the first thing that they say when you meet them. I was like, how could like this tip apply to something like that? But then I was thinking about it, and I feel like you can still apply this tip to like the introduction of a character, even if it's like very like short and simple, and have it be more about like the way the line is delivered and less about like, less emphasis is put on the actual like words that are being said and more of just like how the character is saying them, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I just really love this like first like little tip, because I think it's very like simple, and maybe like maybe some people are just like, duh, Jamie, like that's the most fucking obvious thing ever. Everybody knows this. But I just kind of feel like some of the best writing advice I've ever been given is just like, sometimes it's just like the simple stuff. Sometimes you just need to go back to like the simple stuff and like the basics, especially if like you're like really stuck with something. Okay, so the second piece of writing advice that I want to highlight from this post is to exercise restraint when using swear words. Now, I would consider myself somebody who swears a decent amount, and I feel like if you've been watching me for any period of time, you probably picked up on that I swear a lot in my videos. But when it comes to my writing, this is something I really try to be very conscious about because, like, when I have my characters, I don't like to have like an excess of swearing. It's not that I don't make my characters swear. My characters swear. They definitely swear a lot. But I try not to have like like an excess amount of swearing, because I feel like it really kind of dulls like the emotional impact of the swearing. Whether you want it to be funny or devastating, it's really important to be conscious of where you kind of place. First of all, like again, like how much you have the character swear, and then also the placement is really important of where like where you put the swear word. And also just like something I really like pride myself on is like dialogue that actually is like how like sounds like people would say that, like accurate dialogue. And so like I can't, like I at least I don't know anybody personally who swears like so much like every day all day. So yeah, so it's just being conscious of like how many swear words your characters use, and then just also like where like the placement of them in the line I think is really important. So this is something I always use in my everyday writing. Okay, so this third tip that I want to highlight from this post is basically just the kiss rule. And if you don't know what the kiss rule is, it's basically like if you have like two characters, well, this is I guess for monogamous relationships specifically, but if you have two characters like who you want to like be in a monogamous relationship, um, and they have to eh, and you have to make those characters kiss to like be like, look, they're in love, look at them, they're in love. Can you see that they're in love? It's not very effective. And I really love this particular rule. Oh my gosh, the lighting's kind of weird today, I'm so sorry. I really love this particular rule because one of my just like absolute favorite things that I see in media is like when you have like two characters who share like a really intimate moment, just doing just like a regular like everyday thing. Like I don't fucking know, I can't think of a good example off the top of my head, but just like I don't know, just like doing something like that's not like explicitly like romantic or sexual, like but it's like but just like the way that like the atmosphere and like the tension and it's all kind of like conveyed, and it's just like becomes like a really like intimate moment. Like I love it. It's like my favorite thing ever. If you want like a specific example of just like two characters, like the ones that I think of specifically for this, um so I love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's one of my favorite animes of all time. Mustang and Hawkeye, who are objectively canon, and you can't change my mind about that, I think are the perfect example of this because I just feel like they're a really, even if you're not like an anime person, first of all, just Brotherhood is just a great anime. Even if you're like you don't really watch anime, Brotherhood's like one of those animes where like you would like even if you're not really an avid anime watcher, you will probably still enjoy. I just think Mustang and Hawkeye besides being just some of my favorite characters ever, like it's shown perfectly through them of like you have these characters who really deeply care about each other, and but they never do anything that's like specifically like romantic or sexual or anything like that. And I just honestly, this is just an excuse for me to talk about Mustang and Hawkeye. Okay, and so this last one, I decided I wasn't originally gonna put this one in, but here's just like a fun little bonus one. So the last piece of writing advice that I want to highlight from this post is even if you only wrote one sentence, that's one more sentence than you had yesterday. And I just really love that because I'm somebody who suffers from writer's block, and burnout very frequently. I've talked about it in a previous video. And so just like it's always nice to kind of have the reminder and like to not put so much pressure on yourself to like always be putting out like perfect work like all the time. Like it's okay if what you wrote today was not the best thing you've ever written. It's okay if you've only written like a couple of words or a sentence. Like it's more than what you had before. And even if you don't end up using it in like the final draft, like it's still the only way for you to become a better writer is to write. So it's just something that I like to remind myself of and to always be thinking about. Okay, so that is all I have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments if you are a writer, like what writing tips, writing advice that you've heard that like really stuck with you. If you'd like to share them in the comments, that'd be really great. If you're interested in like, because obviously I didn't like touch on every single point that was like brought up in the original post. If you're interested in checking out the original post, I'll be linking it down below in the description so you can go check it out if you so choose to do so. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.